The Colts are looking to break a pretty long streak against the Tennessee Titans this week, and a certain player could be returning to the field. Let's get into it. What is going on, Colts fans? My name is Mike Conley, and thank you for tuning in to the Conley on the Colts podcast. Like I said in the intro, the Colts have a couple streaks they'd probably love to break this week against the Titans. They have not beaten them since week 10 of the 2020 season. They haven't beaten them at Lucas Oil Stadium since week 11 of the 2018 season. And they haven't won at Lucas Oil Stadium since week 6 of the 2022 season. So, needless to say, I myself would be freaking ecstatic if the Colts won and could break all these streaks come Sunday. And as I said in the intro, Jonathan Taylor has returned to practice and could possibly play come Sunday. I personally would be surprised if he did, but Shane Steichen has left it up in the air. It's all going to depend on how Taylor practices. Yesterday was he was a full participant. I will get into the injury reports for both teams later on in the episode. But if you didn't catch Taylor's press conference yesterday, I will give you a pretty quick rundown of it. The media, pretty much as expected, asked Taylor quite a few times if he wanted to remain a Colt, if he wanted an extension, if he still wanted a trade, all kinds of questions of that nature. And Taylor, as expected, pretty much sidestepped those questions with answers along the lines of, "I'm here now. I want to be here for my teammates." At one point he said, "What the city needs is a championship, and that's what I'm here to do." He said he did not want to get into any contract, any trade talks, or anything of that nature. He is just here. His main focus and the main focus of everyone in the building has been to get him healthy. Said it feels great to be back to himself again. Like I said, I would be surprised if he plays, given we don't really know what kind of football shape he's in. But hey, crazier things have happened. He could play. He could have a few plays, 10 snaps or so, or he could just freaking go off. But we'll see what happens on Sunday. I read that the Titans are planning on as if he was playing, which why wouldn't you? Also wanted to give a shout out to Zach Moss, because even though Taylor's coming back and slowly will probably become the main back again, Zach Moss, I think, should still be in rotation. The guy has been running his tail off. I believe he was 6th in the top 6 in running backs, and that's even with missing a game. Dude's running hard, breaking tackles, making sometimes making something out of nothing. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. All right, so getting into this episode, a couple of my key matchups for the Colts this week against Tennessee. A thing that I think will be a big factor into this game. Colts rank 3rd in red zone percentage right now through the start of the season, scoring a touchdown on 72.7% of the red zone drives. And on the flip side of that, Tennessee's defense is tied for 6th best, with allowing a touchdown on just 41.7% of red zone trips. So to me, that is going to be a big factor. Can this red zone offense still continue the success that they have so far against this pretty solid Titans red zone defense? Dallas Flowers, I'm sure most Colts fans have seen by now, but Dallas Flowers, one of their starting cornerbacks, is unfortunately out for the season with a torn Achilles. It's very tough to see. Flowers was playing some pretty good football, and to a position group that's already young and just inexperienced at the NFL level, now you'll have Juju Brents coming in for a probably a full-time starting role, which he's done pretty good. He did great in his first game against Baltimore, was very physical, had a punch out, pretty good in pass coverage as well. And then last week, a little bit more of a mixed bag. I'm not saying it was Juju's fault, but on that final play in overtime, him and Kenny Moore seemed to have a miscommunication somewhere and left the Rams receiver wide open for the touchdown. So it'll be interesting to see what the Colts do with cornerback 3 on the opposite side. Will they have Jalen Jones, their draft pick from this year, who, by all reports, had a fantastic camp, just hasn't played? Or will it be Daryl Baker Jr., who actually lost his starting role to Juju Brents and just was not doing Daryl Baker Jr. was not playing well at the start of the season. Didn't really show great effort as well. I personally would like to see Jalen Jones in their opposite side, have Jalen Jones, Juju Brents, and obviously Kenny Moore in the slot. See what these young guys can bring. Kenny Moore's having a pretty good season. Had that pick against Stafford last week. That was pretty cool to see. So yeah, I'm fully behind giving Jalen Jones a shot. So getting into the injuries, this is the injury report for Thursday. I will be putting a video up when the Friday injury reports come up. But as far as Thursday, I'm going to read these off my phone because there is unfortunately, kind of a long list, and it seems like the Colts might have the Colts might have a harder time dealing with these injuries than Tennessee does. But getting into the Thursday report for the Colts, players that did not participate Thursday: linebacker Shaquille Leonard with a groin, defensive end Kwity Paye with concussion, tackle Bernard Ryman with concussion. Limited participation players were defensive tackle DeForest Buckner with the back, defensive end Tyquan Lewis with a knee. Full participation was Quentin Nelson with a toe. We've seen that the last couple of weeks dealing with that toe injury, and he has seemed to not limited, not participate. And then Thursday and Friday come into a full participant and be able to play. So hopefully that continues. Tight end Mo Alie-Cox with an ankle. Center Ryan Kelly with a concussion, and running back Jonathan Taylor with an ankle as he remains on the PUP list. I believe they'll have until Saturday to activate him for this game if they want him to play. Doing a little bit of a breakdown with this injury report. Let's go Kwity Paye with a concussion. I do not expect him to play. He's in the protocol. I really don't expect any of these guys, maybe besides Ryan Kelly, to play that is in the concussion protocol, because we've seen of recent, that NFL has been pretty protective of players that are in the protocol, which by every right they should be. I would rather see a player sit out with a possible concussion than try to play. Hopefully DeForest Buckner can play. We saw last week when he is not on the field, the Colts' run defense really suffered, and that is going to be huge. I will get into that more into my key matchups and keys to victory for the Colts. Pretty big blow to lose Bernard Ryman as well. He's had a very good season at left tackle. Getting into the Titans injury report, we have players who did not participate Thursday wide receiver Traylon Burks, linebacker Luke Griffin, I'm not going to pronounce his first name right, Toot with a toe, running back Derrick Henry with a rest, limited participation players were linebacker Danico Autry with a groin, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins rest, full participation, cornerback Isaiah Molden with a hamstring, offensive tackle Nicholas Pierre Fear, I'm screwing that name up as well, with a suspension. Wide receiver Kyle Phillips with a knee. Guard Peter. I'm just going to say their guard with the first name Peter, with abdominal issue, and tight end Josh Whale with an ankle. So I believe that Brooks will be out for the Titans. So that might be good as far as the Colts are concerned. So I wanted to put up some stats for AR so far this year. He has a 56.9 completion percentage, 479 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 131 yards rushing, and 4 rushing touchdowns. I wanted to allude to that because this is going to go into my next segment of this, my keys to victory. Right here, AR has to be number 1, number 2 in my keys to victory. I think AR has to keep making the plays that he has so far this year. I mean, just an example, looking back to the Rams game, one of the reasons why the Colts were able to get back into that game is because AR made the plays with his legs, avoiding the pressure, sliding around the pocket. Like that play, the 2-point conversion to Zach Moss was just crazy, how he was dinking and dunking in the pocket and moving around. Yeah, so this defensive front that Tennessee is going to have, and they're going to bring it, they're going to punch you in the mouth. Richardson will be needed very heavily. I've seen some people argue when AR struggles and say Minshew's 2-0, put Minshew in there. I totally disagree, especially for this matchup. This defensive line is, by all accounts, going to give the Colts some fits, and with the injuries at offensive line, especially. So AR has to continue to play the way he does. I don't think Minshew would be the right fit for this game. And on that point, I think AR just needs to continue to grow and continue the way he has played so far. And by all accounts, he's having a pretty good rookie season. And to piggyback off of some of the things I said about the trenches, for me, that's huge in this game. The Colts have to win in the trenches. You got guys coming at you like Danico Autry. Ever since the Colts let him go, he has been a Colts wrecker. We've seen it time and time again. Jeffrey Simmons, also very good D lineman, is just going to probably give the Colts fits. And continuing to talk in the trenches, I'm hoping Blake Freeland has a better game at left tackle than he did in his first start last week against the Rams. With Bernard Ryman out, Freeland, their 4th round pick this year, has got to play better. Buckner has to be. Hopefully Buckner is back to full strength. We need him against Derrick Henry. Obviously, that's another key. Key is the matchup. You have to be able to stop Derrick Henry. 6 of the last 7 games that Henry has played against the Colts have gone for over 100 yards. If he gets yards, I don't care. He's going to, more than likely, but you have to be able to at least limit him. The Titans offense has really struggled this year when Henry can't go, especially the passing game. Tannehill has struggled this year so far if the run game's not there. So Buckner is going to play a huge factor in that. And with Quiddy Pay being out, probably not playing with a concussion, I think a guy like Dio Dangbo is going to have a good day. Last week, 1.5 sacks, 4 QB hits, and 1 forced fumble. Seemed to be all over the place and is really starting to come in to his own. I see him having a big day this week. It is very much needed. And this might seem a little strange, but another key to victory for me for the Colts is special teams. I think in a game like this that is going to, division opponent, they know each other very well. Division games are always tougher and they always seem I've heard Coach Steichen say it means two. It means 2 victories because it's a division game. They know each other very well. It's going to be a very tough game. I think special teams, 2 parts of that. Matt Gay, if you're in his range, I think you need to take the points. I know he missed a 47-yarder last week, missed a field goal, but the week before that, we all know the Baltimore game was just astounding. If you're in his range, I think you need to take the points unless you're in a very short fourth and your offensive line is playing good that day and you can go for it. But I think you need to take the points as you can get them. And on that other side of special teams, the punt coverage team needs to be on point. They've been doing better as of late, but earlier in the season they were really sloppy, really giving up some good returns, and that was the turning point in some of them games. So again, AR has to be AR, has to keep wowing us, making the plays that he does. Maybe be a little bit smarter with the football. Don't try not to fumble as much when you're running. It's going to be interesting to see if Taylor does play, how that factors into the run game, if it opens up more stuff for AR, if he continues to do that, or if he's sits back more as a pocket, more as a passer. I want to see some deep shots again to the tight ends were awesome. Let's take advantage of that. The Titans, if you want to look at the Achilles heel on their defense, would probably be their cornerbacks. I think you can take advantage of that. I want to see a deep shot and an Alec Pierce touchdown this week. Come on, Alec Pierce. We need it. I want to see it. It's getting a little discouraging sometimes. Not seeing that just because I like the kid and I want him to do good. All right, to my score prediction of the game. I have the Colts snapping these ugly streaks. It's going to be a tight game for sure. Very competitive, but I have the Colts winning this one at home 28-24. That's going to do it for this episode. If you're watching this, if you want to join the channel, please consider subscribing, commenting. I would love to interact with Colts fans. Give me your score predictions. Tell me who you think is going to be a big factor in this game. If you want to follow me on Twitter, which is now called X, please feel free at Conley's Pod. Again, would love to interact with Colts fans. I try to do a good job on Twitter and put up info and news and things for the Colts as I see. So yeah, this is a very important game for the Colts in this division. I forgot to mention everyone in the AFC South is 2-2 right now. Everyone tied. So this is a huge game for the Colts. I want to see all these streaks come to an end against Tennessee. I want to see the losing games at home in Lucas Oil Stadium. I think it's like 13 straight or something. The Colts haven't won at home. Again, that crowd, I want to hear that crowd loud. It sounded pretty good last week. I know the Colts were down. Hopefully they can get off to a better start this week. And very exciting game. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you for tuning in, and let's go Colts.